Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. We're looking for answers. How to find enlightenment. Can I get a hello there? So I talk of becoming your greatest version. And I always get a lot of questions about the theme of enlightenment. People who are embarking on the journey towards enlightenment. Well, I have a small confession for you. I can't help you find enlightenment, but I can share a perspective and what's helped me along my journey gather a greater comprehension on finding enlightenment. So the mid-17th century, you had the age of enlightenment in Europe. The scientist Isaac Newton was discovering the laws of gravity, the laws of motion, heliocentrism, that the planets are orbiting the sun. Now, up until this point, that was absurd. So, in essence, Isaac Newton was shattering the old paradigm, which was rooted in superstition. This is what we call the age of reason. So, in that regard, enlightenment was a scientific discovery. Now, we can talk of spiritual enlightenment. You might have seen the Buddha in a lotus pose, full of calm, very serene, and a lot of us say, I want that. Okay? So we get so many different ideas of what enlightenment is. Enlightenment might be quitting Facebook, getting out of an abusive relationship. For you, enlightenment might be finding the perfect job and saying, thank goodness gracious. It might be finding a diet that works for you. Not a diet, but a lifestyle, right? Okay, so 12 years old, I'm in the library and I pick up a book, Fritz Perls, and I'm reading and I'm getting blown away. Very interesting stuff. Mind you, I was just reading away, not realizing years later I would be studying this stuff. Now, many of us who are in the process of becoming our greatest version, and we are already there, I'll go into that later, are searching. We're searching, okay? Now, I'm going to share with you the psychology of enlightenment. Now, going back to Isaac Newton, he was questioning the old way, okay? Now, people are realizing that, wait a minute, we don't live in a material world. You have the biologist Dr. Bruce Lipton talking about how epigenetics, basically our perception and our environment influences our DNA. We've had him on the show. So he is shattering that deterministic view that we live in a material world. And he's talking about how we can actually impact the energy all around us. And that's what quantum physicists are discovering. Okay, so here is the psychology of how to find enlightenment. Now, you start off perfectly fine. You're playing in the swings, you're having a good time with your friends, and then you hear a shout, come inside. And you say to yourself, no, I don't want to come inside. I am calm, I'm happy, I'm complete. That word, complete, okay? So at a very young age, what I've seen along my journey is that we are already enlightened, because enlightenment is all about equilibrium. It's all about your inner calm, your inner joy, whatever makes you feel most alive. Now, when you're playing in the swing, you don't need a manual. You don't need someone telling you how to do it. In essence, you start finding your own way. But, okay, your mom has called you to come inside, so the sensible thing to do is to come inside because she is making food for you, or he is making food for you, right? Okay, so you come inside. Now what? There is a deep discomfort that arises within you simply because you've got a lot of homework to do. So when we talk of the educational system, we spend our whole lives preparing for a big exam. More so, trying to find the right answer. Okay? So now the psychology of the child at 4 or 5 years old is one of lack, one of inadequacy. Right? So now you want to find enlightenment, being the right answer in the exam. Okay? So, until you get it, there is going to be a big discomfort. Until you get that lifestyle which is being portrayed in the media of the perfect house, relationship, financial success, you are going to be in discomfort. So enlightenment expresses itself in a multitude of ways. So from the discomfort, we move to a need for change, okay? So you say, I need to change this about myself. So we have a feeling that we are not good enough. So we start comparing ourselves to other people. For instance, someone will tell you right in your face, guess what? I got an A in my exam. I'm smarter than you. And then someone will come to you and say, hey, I know something you don't know. Okay? So we say, I need to change something about myself. So then we go into the future prospect. Enlightenment, I always say, is knowing how much you don't know. Okay? But many of us, our enlightenment is all about the future. You see, enlightenment is all about this present moment. Just like Fritz Perls said, it's about the here and now. That's what his whole counseling philosophy was all about, which I also agree with. Fully functional, being a fully functioning human being, like Carl Rogers said, is all about being in the here and now, dealing with existential living. Okay? So the future prospect, once again, takes us out of the present moment. All anxiety is born out of the desire to escape the present moment. So I say, become aware of your words, thoughts, and actions, and then you will see that every single experience is being created by how you feel. When you feel everything is going to be great on Tuesday, when it's Monday, now you have this future prospect, you are waiting for enlightenment. So what happens? Okay, now you go on a quest, you go on this search You want to go to the temples. You want to go and find enlightened masters, people with superior knowledge than yourself. You go on the quest because once again, you aren't comfortable with living in yourself. You want to live out there. So much of the external enlightenment, which I refer to as moving outside of yourself, emanates from a feeling of lack, insecurity, because we feel someone has the answer. We go back to the childhood discomfort. Now, work with me. So, on the quest, this was me along my journey. I would be reading a lot of books by Krishnamurti, Osho, Fritz Perls, David Bohm. Okay, this was inspiring stuff to me because once again, I was studying to become a psychologist, a criminologist, and it helped me. Even when I did study and have all of that, I was still scratching my head. Once again, I was still on the quest for enlightenment. Therefore, enlightenment was a future prospect. So it created a lot of anxiety. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I find enlightenment? Okay, we're getting there, don't worry. So, I got into information. I wanted to learn about ancient cultures. I wanted to learn from the wise people in our society, from people that other people said were wise, but I never questioned it, okay? Because as children, we have many questions. We are naturally curious. We ask what, where, why, okay? Now, information filled up a large part of my life. I was reading, trying to find the answer. In essence, I was trying to find more balance within myself, and I was using external anchors to get that internal balance, which in essence is impossible. Because I was living from the outside in instead of the inside out, which is what enlightenment is all about. The deep sensation, tuning into what is taking place at this very moment, in essence, creating inner balance in the here and now. So, I didn't listen to that advice. No. I was accumulating. So many of us, take a look at your life right now. Now, you probably say, I want more money, which is great because money is energy. Okay, we all need it. I do. You probably say, I want more clothes. You probably say to yourself, I want a better relationship right now. If you're single, you probably say, I want a relationship. You probably say, I want a better job. So we have a lot of wants, which is perfectly fine because once again, we are creatures of desires. We are creatures of deep desires. So, by accumulating, once again, we are deviating from our authenticity. Because once again, as children, we are already there. We are already connected to source energy, to the field, whatever name you have for it. We are already there. We are already whole. Therefore, we are already our greatest versions because we're not trying to compete with other people. We are perfectly comfortable within ourselves until someone says, wait a minute, that person over there is better than you, go and have a race with them, okay? Now we move away from our heart space, from our authenticity. So we want to accumulate, we want to get stuff, more. So we want to go and search. We want to study. We want answers. Okay? So are you finding your enlightenment now? So you hear a very wise person speak and you say, gosh, they have found the answer. So you study under them for many years. And that's what I did for a long time. Anything I share with you is only coming from a perspective. That is why I always say, along my journey, this is what's helped me, because this is my subjective truth, not yours. So whenever I listen to someone, I'm not listening because I want to get something these days. I'm not listening because I want to learn something. I'm listening because maybe I feel they have great energy. I'm resonating with what they're saying, but I don't feel that I have to worship them. Why? Because we are all energy. What I love to say in Lakesh, I am another yourself. But I didn't take that advice, so I'm still accumulating stuff. I want to know all the secrets of the universe. But you see, enlightenment, what I discovered, is not in the known. There are things that we know. There are things that we don't know. And there are things that we don't know we don't know. That is kind of like enlightenment. That's what I discovered. In diving deep, you realize that the possibilities are endless. And I'm not afraid to say I don't have the whole truth, because the truth is infinite. Just like that. Where's the bracelet? Like that, okay? The truth is infinite. But at the same time, it doesn't stop me from diving, from having fun, from enjoying yourself. That is what life is all about, okay? So when you are accumulating, now you have the test. You're testing yourself to see if you are enlightened, because once again, you've spent so much time meditating and doing all of these mantras, okay? But there is still a deep discomfort, because once again, we are incorporating other people's methods and techniques. They aren't really ours. We have just been told that they will help us become enlightened. And we don't really know what enlightenment means anyway, okay? So in this test, we find that we pass the test, because guess what? We've been doing it now for years, okay? We are masters at other people's techniques. Now, we have a deep discomfort. We have found what we have been searching for our whole life. That was me along my journey. I had read over 1,000 books. I had studied every single psychologist. But guess what? I didn't study myself. So I knew nothing about who the hell I was. What's helped me along my journey is realizing, study everything, but study yourself first. For me, enlightenment is like stepping into the ocean when it's freezing cold, okay? Enlightenment is reawakening your inner child. Enlightenment is about being fearless. There are no mistakes. You see, what we call mistakes are social norms held together by the consensus reality. Enlightenment is shattering the old and embracing the new. So, what really helped me along my journey, find enlightenment, was not taking yourself so seriously. Loosen up, because that's what we do as children. We're playing, we're having a good time, we are in a constant state of expansion. When someone says don't do that, what happens? We are in contraction. So what helped me was to allow the change, not to be in resistance to change, but to allow change, to in essence surrender. I realized that surrendering to the search, letting go of the search, now I saw the pearls within. I realized I was sitting on diamonds, literally, and that I was the very thing I was searching for. But guess what? I was chasing my own tail. You see, everything comes full circle. As a child is born with no state of mind. You're very free. But then you want to work hard. You want to put in all the effort. You want to live up to other people's expectations. You judge yourself. You don't forgive yourself. It's like an elastic band very tight around your wrist. Then you say, let me get that band off my wrist. And now you are nothing once again. In that nothingness, you are everything. That is enlightenment. You stop searching. You stop listening to people thinking you are going to get answers. And now you tap into the energy. Just like you are listening to a great piece of music. What am I talking about here? You're not listening, trying to get answers out of the music. You're saying, woo, this sounds so good. I want to dance. I want to move. So what helped me along my journey was hearing other people's perspectives, using discernment, realizing that no one person has the answer, and we shouldn't be looking for answers. We should be looking for the truth within ourselves and embracing other people's truths, being happy for them that they have found their truth. Their truth is not ours, but we are social beings and we all share a collective truth. But my enlightenment is not yours. For you, enlightenment may be waking up at 3:33 in the morning. It may be eating a juicy mango. But guess what? I prefer grapes. Not really, I love mangoes. But whatever rocks your boat. You see, what we've done with finding enlightenment, nirvana, peace, we say, do this and you will find enlightenment, which is great. But I always remind people, I'm only sharing with you what's helped me along my journey. And therefore, if you find someone that resonates with you, a great guru, also realize that you are the guru. You are the teacher. And once you stop externalizing your power, you realize that nobody is coming to save you but yourself. At the same time, we all need each other. We all can inspire each other. I love listening to inspiring people to get a different perspective, which also aids in my own inner balance, enlightenment. Enlightenment is never ending. At the same time, it is accessible right here. It's not something far out there. It is... What's helped me is just tuning in 100% to what is taking place right now. So the little ambient noise, the bird singing, the person going by. And I'm going to do a video on mindfulness meditation in depth soon. But that's what I've discovered. Enlightenment is knowing how much you don't know and being okay with it. Enlightenment is whatever you say it is, because once again, the power lies within yourself. There you have it. We are here. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well. Stay healthy. Peace.